Tomas, an accomplished neurosurgeon working in communist Czechoslovakia, begins a casual affair with Sabina, a similarly independent and frivolous artist from Prague. Tomas's work takes him to a spa town for a complex, specialized operation. There, he meets Teresa, a withdrawn and dissatisfied waitress striving for intellectual growth and a different future. Teresa later finds Tomas in Prague and decides to move in with him, significantly complicating his already complicated love life. Tomas asks Sabina to help Teresa find work as a photographer. Teresa is simultaneously delighted and tormented by jealousy upon realizing that Sabina and Tomas are in an affair, but a quiet and delicate friendship unexpectedly blossoms between the two women. Tomas and Teresa marry in a modest ceremony, accompanied by laughter and a sense of the absurd. Teresa continues to be traumatized by Tomas's repeated infidelities and seriously considers breaking up, but her attachment deepens after the Soviet invasion of Czechoslovakia. In the chaos, Teresa films street protests against the occupation, then hands over the footage to foreigners for illegal export to the West. Unwilling to live under the increasingly police-dominated regime that followed the Prague Spring, Tomas, Sabina, and Teresa decide to leave the country for Switzerland. Sabina leaves first, followed, after some hesitation, by Tomas and Teresa. In Geneva, Sabina begins an affair with Franz, a married university professor. Their relationship becomes increasingly serious, and Franz ultimately decides to leave his wife and family for Sabina. Upon learning of this, Sabina breaks off their relationship, fearing the emotional dependence and responsibility he imposes on her. Meanwhile, Tomas and Teresa are trying to adjust to life in Switzerland, but Teresa feels like an outsider and is met with coldness from the locals. When she discovers that Tomas continues to cheat on her, she leaves him and returns to Czechoslovakia. Shocked by her departure, Tomas follows her, but upon arrival, his passport is confiscated, preventing him from leaving the country again. Despite this, Tomas's return delights Teresa, and they reunite. Tomas tries to return to his medical practice, but an article he wrote before the invasion, sharply criticizing the Soviet-backed regime, renders him politically unreliable. The authorities demand that he sign a letter retracting his statements, claiming that the publication undermines the foundations of communist ideology. Tomas refuses, and as a result, he ends up on an unofficial blacklist and loses his right to work as a doctor. He takes a job as a window washer and continues to lead a disorderly personal life, becoming involved with the daughter of a high-ranking party official, who, as he believes, recognizes him. While working as a waitress, Teresa meets an engineer who proposes to her. Aware of Tomas's constant infidelities, she engages with him in a single, emotionless, intimate encounter. Later, plagued by guilt, Teresa begins to fear that the engineer might be an informant for the secret police capable of reporting on her and Tomas. In despair, she contemplates suicide by the canal, but by chance encounters Tomas, who once again brings her back to life and to him. Exhausted by the pressures of city life, Teresa convinces Tomas to leave Prague. He reminds her of his confiscated passport, but Teresa finds a solution and persuades him to move to the countryside. They relocate to a rural area, where an old patient of Tomas welcomes them. There, they live a quiet, almost idyllic life, far from the political intrigues of the capital. Meanwhile, Sabina moves to the United States, continuing her bohemian and libertine lifestyle. Later, Sabina receives a letter informing her that Tomas and Teresa have died in a car accident on a country road. Shortly before the accident, Tomas and Teresa are driving along a rural road in a farmer's truck under the rain, and Tomas calmly tells Teresa how truly happy he feels now.